our sisters program. In 1994, anybody heard of the Grace Hopper Conference? The Grace Hopper Conference was the first one was in Washington, D.C. in 1994. Her and our current CEO, Telly Whitney, actually had a meeting that spring. I think it was in April. And then the first conference was in October. And it has always been in October ever since. I'll talk a little bit about that later as well. And then while Anita was at DEC, anybody remember DEC? Digital Equipment Corporation, probably just a few of us. But now the digital DEC is now Xerox. Everybody knows Xerox, right? She actually created Institute for Women in Technology while she was at DEC, and they actually sponsored her to create that. So there've been a lot of great ties here to the New York community. After Anita was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, in 2003, I believe, it was renamed to Anita Borg Institute for Women in Technology. So that's our history. Just wanted to give a little indication about our programs. Grace Hopper Celebration hosts a lot of our just highlighting women that are contributing. You don't necessarily see them in mainstream, so that's why we bring all of the women together. Last year we had 12,000, just under 12,000. This year we're aiming for 15,000, and it will be in Houston again this year. So we've been working ever since last September, even though we were working on last year's Grace Hopper as well. We have a program called Top Company, and that really just measures companies. They give us their data. We actually go through that data, extract a lot of things and analyze it, and then we say, hey, this is what you're doing. This is how you're doing in recruiting. This is how you're doing in retention, right? Because a lot of women are leaving. And this is some of the things that you need improvement in and when you want to advance women. We have a Women of Vision, which is hosted next month. It's always hosted in May. This is really highlighting like our leaders and our technical innovators and those women that are actually using technology for social change. So we actually highlight that at a huge banquet in Santa Clara next month. Sisters, of course, I talked about sisters, but actually that's where the ABIdotLocal has come in, right? And the ABIdotLocal is really just making sure that we are connecting at a very local level. The Grace Hopper Celebration is a 3-day conference. But what happens after you see these amazing women, a sea of women who are just like you, and then you go back home and you go to work. So we wanted to, that's our goal with the ABIdotLocal, is to actually making sure that we're promoting that you have this community, a larger community, at a very local level. So in 2015, we launched about 8 different U.S. Communities. And we held one GHC, which was last year in New York. This is a GHC 1, which is a 1-day, and that was held last year in New York, last April. This year, we're adding Portland, Seattle, Atlanta, and Minneapolis to the landscape as well. And then we're going to have later on, the GHC 1 was postponed till later in this fall. But I have some incredible plans to kind of promote that and work with the larger GHC as well. And then we had 2 international communities last year, 2015, London and Delhi. And we're going to add Amsterdam, Nairobi, and 1 in Tokyo, and 2 more cities in India. And we're actually going to have a GHC 1 in London, so that will be our first GHC 1, international one. So be sure for more information on how to get involved, stop by the registration desk. We always want to give you some information. We have a lot of ABI staff here, and the community leadership is also here as well, right? So what I want to do is actually, I want to bring up a couple of our sponsors. Nisha Dua. And she's a partner with BBG Ventures, and she's the founder of Built by Girls. So, Nisha? Woo!
Thanks, Rose. Hi, everyone. I'm Nisha Dua, as Rose said. I work with AOL, and I run our venture fund, BBG Ventures, that invests in female-led consumer tech startups. So We've seen about 900 companies since we launched. We've invested in 30 of them, and they all have at least one female founder. So there's lots of opportunity out there. Really excited to be here supporting you guys today on behalf of AOL. AOL's had a very deep commitment to supporting women in technology and women in leadership. Some of you might have heard of makers.com, which is the world's largest video collection of women's stories. We're doing work with Let Girls Learn. The AOL Foundation supports Girls Who Code, Step Up, the New York Academy of Sciences. And I think probably 50% of our senior most executives are women as well. So there's a real commitment to supporting women in leadership, and that's really why we launched this fund. But in particular, I'm excited to be here today at Anita Borg because the mission of Anita Borg really aligns with the reason we started the fund and the work we do at Built by Girls. So thinking about this idea that the world should really be built by a world that it looks like. So who are the people innovating and creating, and are they mirroring the society that's around us? So when we think about the mission at BBG Ventures, it's driven by this idea that women are the dominant users of nearly every single major consumer internet platform, from Facebook to Pinterest, even LinkedIn. They're also driving 85% of purchasing decisions, 65% of mobile purchasing decisions. So we're driving the world, we should also be building it. The BBG in BBG Ventures came from a platform I launched in 2014 called #BuiltByGirls. So there's actually going to be a table outside. You can pick up your own Built by Girls sticker. It's great for your laptop or for your daughters. And the mission of Built by Girls is really around this idea of supporting young women to be part of the tech-enabled economy. So when you think about technology, it really is it's the great accelerator. It's the single biggest thing that can supercharge your success and drive your passion. There's a lot of amazing work being done to teach girls how to code and encouraging them to be in a STEM field. What we're trying to do is answer the question, okay, what next? So once I learn some basic coding skills, or I've developed an interest in STEM, what can I do with it afterwards? So we've been working with high school girls who have done some sort of basic coding program, whether it's with Girls Who Code or another girls' organisation. And we launched a program in 2014 with one of AOL's websites, actually, a celebrity gossip entertainment site called Cambio. And we hired 5 17-year-old girls to come in and actually rebuild the site for us. And this really started as this idea that it's a site for girls, so it should be built by girls. What we found was that it was most impactful not just to have them come in and work with one manager who was the lead engineer on the site, but actually to learn kind of the 360-degree view of what it takes to run a digital media property. So they learned everything from editorial 101, social media 101, product management, mobile UX and UI, sales and marketing, all the way to what is a P&L, right? And how do I think about business strategy? And so that's really informed our approach at Built by Girls. And we see this great kind of eye-opening to opportunity from these young women who in this particular instance, they came in with this expectation that they were going to be blogging about the Kardashians and redesigning the site. But many of them left sort of saying, okay, wow, I want to go into cybersecurity or data analytics, or I might want to be a journalist, but my journalism is going to be informed by the data that drives content today on social media. So we ran that program for a second time in 2015, and it's remarkable to see these girls not only build things like contributor network platforms, inspirational celebrity meme generators, but to really understand the ins and outs of business. So we brought a second class on in 2015, and we had the girls sit with us actually at the VC fund, where they learned the fundamentals of Startup 101, of venture capital. They learned everything from how do you think about a product development timeline to how do I read a term sheet. And so when we think about supporting these girls to be part of the tech-enabled economy, we want to support their learning in STEM, but we also want to create an army of builders. And the best way to do that is through women like you. So we learned 3 really important things, I think, through these programs, that as we think about all being women in this room, supporting other women and supporting young women are really relevant. So the first was the fact that a variety of options is really important. Getting exposed to, well, what else can I do in this arena? I might take my coding skills and be able to run a business, be a product manager, be in a variety of different areas. And these are options that these girls would otherwise never be exposed to. 2 is this idea of in-person experience. We hear a lot in the press today, you can only be what you can see. It's almost a tired phrase, but it's tired because it's true. So being in the workplace with a young woman who looks like you is incredibly meaningful. And then the third thing was something that I think we all underestimate, which is the value of practical skills. So everything from, well, how do I think about a timeline or a project plan, to how do I ask for a business card? And these are things that young women don't necessarily get taught in high school or even college, but they're really meaningful to help a young woman become a rock star in her first job. So in 2016, we're evolving to redefine the concept of mentorship, and we would love to invite all of you here in this room to join us on this journey. When you think about the best job you'll ever get, it's often by introduction or referral. The best candidates you ever get are also often by introduction or referral. Anecdotally, at least, we know that men are pretty good at that. Women like to be authentic. We don't love networking that much. And so we're really rethinking, can we shatter this old boys club and can we create a new women's club? So I'll end by saying it's still to come, stay tuned, but Rose spoke about this idea of network and support, and it's equally important that we have a network amongst women who are our peers as we do with young women. So come visit our booth afterwards, take a Built by Girls sticker, sign up to join our Alpha, because this year we're building the new Girls Club. So thanks for having us.
Thank you. And sisters, just so you know, sisters love mentoring. We're trying to do a little sisters, so we're definitely involved with that. And we can certainly post that through our communities as well. So I want to bring up next is from 2 Sigma, Jeanette Dupree, and she's a product manager. Jeanette?
I wonder if I can pull this out. Can I pull it out?
Yeah, you can.
Losing my paper. I have cheat sheet. Thank you. I like to walk around. I don't like being stuck behind a podium. So good morning. My name is Jeanette Dupree. I am a product manager at 2 Sigma, as Rose mentioned. I've been at 2 Sigma actually for less than a year, but I'm really excited to be here. My career, though, is really long. I was at IBM for over 24 years, and if you'll allow me to tell a really quick story. I used to travel for work quite a bit, and I was on a business trip one time, and a bunch of my coworkers and I were out for dinner. And there was a table of women sitting behind us celebrating a birthday, and one of them asked if we would take a picture for them. And this banter started happening back and forth. And one of the women walked up to me and said, "How did you end up the only woman in this group of 20 people?" And I went like this. I didn't even realize I was the only woman. And some people might say that's a bad thing because there were no other women there. But I actually think it's a really good thing because I didn't feel like I was the only woman. I didn't feel any different than anybody else at the table. So and that's, maybe 8-10 years ago. So I really, really hope that's the trend that we can find. I do hope there's more women at the table, whether it's the conference table or the dinner table on a work trip. But I hope all of you find similar experiences where you don't feel like you're different just because you're a woman. You are just one of the guys, or one of the people, I should say. So I work for 2 Sigma now, and as Rose mentioned, we're one of the sponsors here today. A lot of you might wonder what 2 Sigma is. Have any of you ever heard of us? A couple of you? Okay, awesome. So 2 Sigma is, we're based here in New York in Soho, and we are a financial company. We are a company that harnesses data and the power of cutting-edge technology to make rational decisions for our investors. We have hundreds of thousands of different sources of data that we process. We have teams and teams of people who generate really great ideas. They turn them into models. And then we use our technology to figure out how to make the most rational investments for our clients. Our company was founded by a statistician and a computer scientist back in 2001. So you can kind of see how those two fields have really married. And over the last few years, we've really been focused on hiring a lot more women. That's why I'm here. I moved up from North Carolina, actually, where I was this weekend, and it was much warmer than... I left here on Saturday, and it wasn't that bad. And I came home last night, and it was freezing. Anyway, we've been really focused on hiring more women into our company. We're here this afternoon recruiting, so I encourage you to stop by our booth as well. And just a plug for Grace Hopper as well. We've been sponsoring the Grace Hopper Conference for the last few years. And we went last year with a goal of hiring women, and we hired 7 women at the Grace Hopper Conference last year. It doesn't sound like a huge number. But for us, it was very exciting. So we're really happy to be here and supporting ABILocal New York and Grace Hopper as well. So thank you.
Thank you. So thanks for that. Two Sigma also hosted a pre-GHC Sisters meetup at their office as well. So they've been very supportive in the community. I want to just, before I bring up our keynote, I want to just make sure that I recognize a couple of folks. Natasha Green, Jesse Thiessen, and Michelle Mertz. Are you here? These are our community leadership. You should definitely make sure you stop by there, find them, ask them any questions. They've been instrumental in putting all of this together for you and know the New York community. So make sure you find them and ask them all kinds of questions and how you can get involved. I also want to recognize our founders also. And I know that some of you are here. So BNY Mellon, anyone BNY Mellon up front? CA Technologies, yay! Goldman Sachs, Thomson Reuters, Time Inc., and Twitter. So these are our founding companies that started out the ABI.New York. So let's give them a round of applause as well. So I want to introduce Natasha Green. As I said before, she is a co-lead, and she and Jesse has been instrumental in putting all of this together. So I'll let you take over. Thanks.
Yes. Hi. So as a computational chemist, women in computing is a field I adore, right? And as an entrepreneur, just having an entrepreneurship innovation summit, I'm just ecstatic, yes? But this could not have happened without Jesse's help and Two Sigma, because they galvanized us to keep on going, as well as BNY Mellon initiated the idea about entrepreneurship and also innovation. Furthermore, before I let Jesse just say 1 or 2 words of what we are doing as the community, I want you guys to know that we're looking at having innovative and different ways and unique ways to target entry, middle, and senior level women who are interested in doing various activities in computing or as it relates to technology. And please talk to Gabby, because we're looking to do something senior level with women who are interested in definitely management. So we're planning stuff. But if you don't see what we are doing and you want something else, please tell us. But I want you, Jesse, to just talk a little bit about what we have done to date. And Jesse has been instrumental in a lot of things. I cannot thank her enough. So here, Jesse.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessie. I am a network engineer at Two Sigma. I came on board ABI New York probably at the end of 2015. So I'm somewhat new to the group, but I've been a part of Sisters. If you all are not on the Sisters listserv, I highly suggest joining it. It's been instrumental in a lot of networking that I've done here. And for ABI New York, we're looking to do, I think, 1 to 2 events a month. So we started at the end of last year, like I said, and let's see. We had a professional women's event hosted by Grubhub, which was great. We have done, I think, 2 tea times so far, like a sort of a lunchtime networking event in Manhattan. We're looking to continue that, and we're going to be doing a archery event at a place that Natasha owns. So yeah, if it's a great community. So if you're here in the New York area, come talk to us sometime today. We'll tell you anything about it.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Peggy really quickly, and I'm actually just going to read her bio and then tell you just one, interesting fact. But I adore Peggy since I've met her maybe 2 years ago. It's been a while, but she's